I'm sure in this case, to use a Dataverse license. Or let's say fantastic. So I have a connection written already for me here. It's listed as I can pick any of the tables available here. Respecting on the accounts. And what it does is it goes into the system and creates an app. It brings the table, creates and have an app. Right?
Hello, can you hear me, Casey? It seems the audio is
Hello, can
not
you hear me,
audible. We
Casey?
can't hear you. It seems the audio is not audible. We can't hear you.
Hello, is it better now? Hello,
Yes, very
can
well.
you
It's
hear me?
better. Very well. Yes. It's better now.
Okay. Oh, uh, forgive me. So, at what point did you guys lose me?
From the beginning.
Oh, okay. No issues. So, I'm going to close this up. We'll take it here from the scratch. So, I'm going to leave this. So, like I mentioned, when you log into Power Apps, this is your landing screen. So, you have an option to pick from the Dataverse to create an app, or the SharePoint, or the Excel, or the SQL. Well, me being a lazy person, what I did was this when I started learning. At least let me show you what I did when I started learning. Maybe along the line, may pick a trick or two from it and save you the fear I encountered when I started. So go to Dataverse and click on it, and it will ask me to create a connection. Oh, that's scary. I see roaches everywhere. So okay, I'm going to accept the risk and move on. Okay, have a lovely day. Okay, so now I have a list of connections here, right? I could create a new one like I did previously, or I could choose an existing one. Since I've done this before, let me just use an existing one for Dataverse because at this point, my data source is Dataverse. So I'll click on this. I'm sure Fatu last week went through connections and tables with you, so I'll skip that part. But should you have any other question or any other concern you would like us to touch on, no issues, just pop on the chat. So I'll click on the account as my data source and I'll click on connect. So what it does is this, it goes and creates everything I need, basic things I need to have a functional app. The screens, the commands, the navigation, everything is created here. And like I mentioned earlier, if you're as lazy as me, oh fantastic, they are good to go. However, Power Apps or your use of Power Apps can be limited by your creativity and your skill to research. So now I have a basic app. If you see here, okay, I'm going to collapse this. I have three screens. I have the browse screen, the detail screen, and the edit screen. So, and all these, the cruise tests, the phone numbers, and everything are the records I have on my tables, right? So what I'll do is this: I'll click on the play button, and voila, I have my simple app. It's not top of the shelf when it comes to UI and UX, but it's functional. So if I click this button, right, it takes me to the detail screen and I see all the other details, right? And if I wanted, I could click on this button, the edit button, and I could change this to Lagos and I put Nigeria somewhere here. And this is the save button. and it saves, right? And if I go back to the main record, it becomes Lagos, Nigeria. This is the back button. So I'll go back here and close this off and go and look at all my screen. I have the browse screen, the detail screen, and the edit screen. So what the browse screen does, I'm talking about how the baseline app works. It shows me all my records. Detail screens show me the details of each record, and the edit screen is the one that helps me edit it. Now, there's a trick to this. If I click each of these icons here, if you notice, I have a name here and I have a function here. If I click each of this icon here, right, the name changes here and the formula here changes. So I can drop down here and scroll up and down, and I see different um, commands here, if I'm using that word, commands, and these are the formulas behind it. For example, right, it shows navigate edit screen one. If I collapse this and collapse this, right, the edit screen one is the edit screen. If I click on this arrow here, for example, now I'm going to unselect. Same thing, it takes me to this formula. But I could play around with this and say, okay, fine. I would remove this and I will delete it. Or better still, I won't delete it. I'll put double becomes null and I'll put this in for navigate to, let's say, edit screen one, navigate, open the bracket and say edit screen one. Um, edit screen one. And voila, save it. If I hit the play button and I click on this button, remember the last time when I hit this button, it took me to the details of this record. But this time around, if I click on it, it takes me to edit. So I can come here and change the name to Civil One and I append the test to it just to show it's functional. And I save this button. And once it saves, you notice the appended data is here. Oops, a bit feisty there. So I'll close this up. So what happens is this. What am I driving at? By looking at this app and looking at all the buttons, like I mean, playing with the app a bit, right? Playing with the app a bit and looking at what all the buttons does and the formulas on it, it gives you a better insight of, hey, this is what it does. How can I play around with it? So for today, what I have planned is hoping we have enough time. What I intend doing is this. Let us look at all these buttons here and create our own app using all the functions we are seeing here. So in this case, we use a browse gallery. We'll try something else. So I will duplicate this page to make it easier. And to make it easier, I will start from scratch again. I'm going to take out every extension to this, hit the enter button. Fantastic. This time around, I'm going to be a bit, call it plagiarism. Hit the blank, and I'm going to create from a canvas app. So I will give it a name, my first app. Okay, my first app. Okay, so I have the option of using tablet and phone um, options or format, right? Normally, it's advisable to use the tablet format because it's better when you have different form factors for different phones. What I mean is that you have different phones or different mobile devices that have different screen size and definition. So the tablet form is a bit better when it comes to harmonizing depending on how many people are opening it on with different devices. So I'll click on the create option and I have a blank app. So I'll skip this, right? So as you can see, unlike this other one, I have um, three screens: browse screen one, detail screen one, and edit screen one. However, if I come here, I have just one screen called screen one, and it's empty. So this is where our imagination and creativity comes into play. Remember, every app has a purpose. So you have to first of all define what you want to do before you start sketching on the canvas. Else you be stuck. So I'll go to the insert. Now the insert allows me to insert for visuals or use what visuals. I could use a text input to capture data. I could use a button. I could use a label. I could use a new. I got on that screen. But before that, what I want to do is this: I want to add a data source. Remember when we did the cheat mode? So I clicked on a data source on a table before it ramped up, but in this case, it doesn't exist. So I'll click on the cylinder here and add the data, and I'll look what do I want. So this is my database. I'll use the account table, and it's listed here that I have the account as a data source on this app. Obviously, you can have multiple data sources across platforms. So I can have an SQL data source here. I can have SharePoint. I can have Dataverse. I can have Excel. Your call. Then I'll go back to the tree view and so on. I'll go to the insert. So instead of using the gallery like the other, a gallery, I'll go to forms. My goal is to replicate what I have here, right? What I have here um, in this other form. So I'll click on, I have the edit and display option. So I'll go to display option. So it tells me connect with data. I'll click on this. Come on, connect with data. And I look to the left hand side of, oh, sorry, the right rather. And data source says none. Mind you, I've added account to it. So I'll go back to this and select the account. Now, this see what this does. It asks me, how do you want it? You want it vertical? You want it columns, right? Do you want it three columns, or you want I can make it 4, 6, 12? As if I make it 12, so I have 12 columns. To show the effect of the 12 columns, I'll come to edit fields and more field because at first it picks the three main fields, so I can add every other field I want. So I can put, let's go crazy and add as much as we want. So I have account name, account number, I have my account rating, address, add and add and add and add. It's up to 12. Let me see, I have three here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if I do scroll down, 10, 11, just for it can be any, it's a bit long though. It's a other phone. Then I add. So I have 12 columns, and if I close this off, okay, it's not responding to me anymore. I guess it's angry with me with all the load I gave it. And I have 12 columns. So 12 columns spread out. So I'll close this out. So I have 12 columns listed here, right? So what I'll do is this. To one of the things about Power Apps is that most times you're both your UI UX person. So I'm going to reduce this to the normal tree. And I will take out, these are my three columns. I will take out the all the other fields I added. So this just to show you that you can add other fields to it. And how do I do that? Come to this three option here. I removed it, take them off one by one, or go the shortcut. Come to the forms, this form viewer, and I will just delete it. And everything goes off. Now I'll do it again. Go to display, connect to data, and I will select the accounts. I have free form. So I'll go back to this Power Apps. So I go to my browse screen. What is the formula on the browse screen. So it tells me items, right? Sort by columns. So this is item option here. Tell the formula is or the items function, and the formula is sort by column, search. So I'm going to copy this out. Control A, copy everything, and Control C. Now, the purpose of this class is to tell you what all this does. It's an easier way to find out what the formula does. I'll come back to this place, and the formula is, if you notice, the browse screen one. That's our gallery, because in this case, there's no gallery. I'm trying to replicate on the form, not a gallery. It's tricky though, but let's see how much of it we can do. So I'll select this data sources account. I'm going to take this out, look for the item, put this item here, then I'll paste this formula. Who is giving me an error? What? Why are you giving me an error? So now to check your errors, you come to this stethoscope, app checker or a doctor, drop it down and look at the formulas. So what am I doing wrong? So say name isn't valid, text search box one, invalid from view. So it means that something is missing. So this text search box one, oh sorry, I skipped that. So I'll go back to item. So this is missing. It's not there. So I go back to my other app and look at it. Okay, fine. They say there's something here. This is search items. So I need this on the app. So what do I do? Two ways. I go to this and add a search box one, or I come down here and let me see if I can put the cheat mode again. Copy this out. Come over here under screen one. Can I paste this? Can I paste outside the form, obviously? And can I paste it? No, it's not allowing me paste. Nah, it's not being friendly today. Okay. So what I'll do is this. I will go to search items and I'll come back here and put my text box. So I'll come here and put a text input. I'll drag it outside here. Obviously, I'm not really great in UI UX, but hey, we'll survive. Now, this is text input, right? So I'll go back to this other app and find, okay, what things are defined here? The default says blank. The double quote here signifies that a text is expected. So I go back to this and, okay, default text input, I'll put it as blank. It's blank and it's all blue and shiny. And I'll go back to this and see what other formulas does it have that makes this work. I'll drop down and say, okay, fine. I'll start going through this one by one. But in this case, I think I know what I'm looking for. I think I know, and I'm sure. Then on change, false, no formula there. On select, no formula there. So what's the trick? So let me try this. So I'll go back to this other one and say, okay, fine. Why not name it? Oh, sorry, my previous off. It's called text input one. So I'll go to this and go back to my formula on the form. Go to items and this is, I would check these two text input one dot text. See flagging an error. Why are you flagging an error? So I'll go back to this. Now, in a nutshell, this gives you an idea of, okay, playing around with the formulas with navigation screens as the case may be. So I'll go back to this and say, okay, what formula? If you notice the error has reduced. Now it's telling me that this is my error that no longer exists. So it means that my trick did not work. Something is missing over there. So what if I do this? Take this out. What happens to my formula? Take out the last. This is not happy today, so I'll put a final. I have close bracket here, close bracket here, close bracket here, close bracket here. So what are you crying about? Go back to my formulas and check. Expected record value. Hmm. So it's flagging, it's expecting a record value. So I'll come back here on this again. Can I do a data source for this? Let's check. Mm, nope, nothing. So what did I do? I go back to my other app and say, okay, what else can I steal from here? So I said search items, but I'm using a text input. So what am I doing wrong? Go back to this. Is there a search item option here or just that? Nope, none. I go back here. So what can I do? This was the same error I faced the last time. That's okay, fine. I don't care anymore. So what I do, I go back and change everything to how it was on the other side. So I'll come back here and look at the form and say, okay, fine. Search this, and search input. I'm going to take everything out. Oops. Oh, I deleted my form. Ouch. Let's go back here and go to the gallery instead. Now, I'm showing you everything I did before I started learning Power Apps. It was not, mm, it was a bit rough, but then if you do all this trial by error, right, you will learn, you would learn faster than how do I go in, how do I mention it? Than you know, waiting for having it all cooked and baked. So I'm going to close this off and everything comes up. Question is, what is the difference between my gallery and my form view? Now, the gallery itself is like, how do I feel gallery? Gallery has more functionality than the form, um, the form itself. So working with the form, you have to do more work, more research, find out how you can really replicate what you have or the functionalities that comes with the gallery in the form. That takes a lot of time, and I see taking more time than the split time. So I'll play around with this. So we have done navigate before. Now I'll try it again. Come back to here and say new screen and say a blank screen. So I have a new screen here. So what I want to do is this. I'll go to this gallery, click on this formula here, and it says select parent. And let me add on that formula here and say navigate screen 2. Okay, so now what happens is this. If I hold my Alt button down and hit this, it goes to screen 2. So I go back to gallery. So what do I want for screen 2? I still want to work with the forms. So I'll put a display form. It's my round and connect my data source to it. You notice when we did our first app, it did all this for us, but I have to manually do everything. Manually, when I say manual, I mean manually. So accounts. Okay, fantastic. So I go back to this and um, on the item of this form 2, let's go to data source. We go to items. It's blank. Now I want to do on that cheat move if it's possible. Then I will go to the detail screen because that's what I want. Oops, what happened? Give me a second. Let me sort this out. Where am I? Okay, so I'm back. Sorry about that. Share my camera and share my screen one more time. Okay, so where we where is oh there you are. Go to my detailed form one and look at data sources accounts. I come here and compare also. Um, do I have the account as my data source? Check. Come here also. Okay, fine. I want to see what the item is like. Is there an item? Oh, it's an item. And it tells me browse gallery one selected. So what it does is this, I'm going to copy this out also, and I'll come back to my own form and go to items, right? And paste this. Now, why is it giving me error? So I go back to this and check why are you giving me error again? Open the go back to this button and I go sorry go back to browse gallery one and check my button because this is what connect this to the other screen. So I come back to this and check. Hold on, let me confirm. So and I change something, confirm this and okay, yeah, still what it was. Click on this and come down to this and okay, this on select, right? It tells me parent. Why parent? Select dot parent. So let's do this. I come to this, go to my gallery one and hold this button. Okay, select parent. So what's the difference? This is called gallery one, right? And if I come here, this is called browse gallery one. So you can see the difference, a bit of vulgarism. So I'll come to this formula, right? And sorry, select the item. And what happens if I change this? Color and this comes up. What it implies is this. If I come back to gallery one and I hold down the Alt button and click on this, it should give me the record of every other person. Now, this tells me that on this particular gallery one, this icon, right? This is what the icon does. But what happens if I do this? So this icon, I come here and let's play around a bit. I select a save just for the fun. And it says parents, no, but I don't want what it says. I want what I want. This and let's do this. I kick this out, copy this out, go to this and paste this instead. Put this and paste this instead. And I play the app. No, my aim is this. If I click on this save button, instead of saving, it takes me to my form 2. Let's hope my TOV works. And I click on this and it takes me to screen 2. In essence, right, this is how I learned Power Apps. I did not open one textbook or go to one material and read everything and everything came to my mind. What I did was simply go to the template app. It could be any template app. There are millions of them out there. Pick on one, look at all the functions, look at all the buttons, all the icons, what they do, and try to create my own app and replicate it. It gave me a better understanding on what's it called of how things work. And I mentioned earlier, everything is limited to your imagination, your creativity, and what you want to achieve. Playing around with all these things gave me a broader insight on, you know, doing some crazy stuff on the whole um, Power Apps portal. So it's up to you. You may just want to write the exam and pass. Fair enough. You read the materials, learn what you have to learn. But if you really want to go into development, because I want to be like everybody here who's writing PL-900 who want to write PL-100, it will be fun to just to go through and see what it does and how much you can play around with it. And I'll be stopping here for today and I'll be entertaining questions if you do have any. if you have any questions, can you just put on the chat, and we'll circle back to it. Okay, so it appears that there are no questions for now. Fair enough. So what will happen is this: should anybody have any questions, please don't hesitate to put it on the chat. And from next week, we'll look at playing around with your model driven apps.